Good morning. It is Tuesday, 9 a.m. I've got a little bit of a throat issue, so I probably sound a little different. We're going to try this anyway. Let me sound check real quick. Test. Real quick. Test. Okay, that's good. Real quick. Test. Okay, that's good. Real quick. Test. So, as you know, over the past month or so, we've done a lot. I did a lending business or P2P lender participant financial model. This is very cool logic. um, I did a nice little template to help people who are working in three statement models and dealing with inventory. I also updated the P2P lending as a service platform model. So that's somebody who's actually operating a P2P lender that connects uh, borrowers and lenders. Where's that one at? Oh, it's in SAS. This one. What else did? Oh, I also upgraded the LTV and CAC payback planner. I added tracking for up to 60 months, so now it teaches you how to calculate the metrics. And it also has a 60-month column or up to 60 months of real-time tracking where you can put in the relevant inputs and it'll spit out all the nice SAS metrics that we did in this one. I think that was mostly everything in the past month. So, what I'm going to do today, starting from scratch, blank Excel sheet, and we're going to get into the furniture lending business. So, furniture lending, let's think about it. At the most basic level, what do you have? A company goes and buys a bunch of furniture, couch, chair, ottomans, whatever, just a bunch of stuff. They're going to store that in a warehouse or somewhere, and then they have different sales channels where this goes to the consumers and they rent this for a fee per day or week or month or whatever. And then when they're done, they give it back, and that's the business consumer. So some key things when company buys furniture, there is depreciation that is a definite impact. So we're going to have depreciation calculations on this model because it's literally the business model is buying depreciable things that you're going to rent out. So we'll put depreciation on there. We're probably not going to get down to taxes, but we'll show all the relevant things that are in the model that are related to taxes. So you'll be able to see, EBITDA, EBIT. Um, we'll do we'll calculate the earnings before income tax, depreciation, amortization. We'll take off interest. We'll take off the depreciation expense based on logic of a useful life and when things are purchased. It's only going to be a 5-year model, so nothing's really going to expire. But you possibly could be adding new furniture products over time, and then there's probably going to be some percentage of loss of inventory over time, which is um, like it could get damaged or whatever, but we're just going to assume an expense item or something. I don't know what we're going to do. If I want to just say a percentage of the inventory is churned over time, but I mean we've got depreciation to track the loss of value. It is a non-cash item, or depreciation. Uh, but the model is going to focus more on operations, potential revenue, what it costs to run the business, and then how much cash flow you're generating. Depreciation is only relevant for taxes, and that's pretty much it. But I will put it in here because I feel like it's fairly material as far as what's going on. So the next part, or the fun part here, is gonna be. Let me get my thing up here. Sorry, 1 second. So the next part is going to be how we're actually going to structure this thing. Um, I usually start most models off with a revenue assumptions in a control tab to define the dates of the model, and validation tab, which usually just has the 5 months or 5 years worth of months. Let's get into, let's see, you just pull. Most models have a similar control tab that I like to do, but some vary a little bit depending. But in my models, I like to have somewhat of a shell around the funding sources, start year, exit month, any debt or equity, and then around that, I will put unique logic for like how the actual business is making money and all that stuff. So some things are redundant, some things are unique. Okay, uh, this all has to go. Rest of this is good. So this here's our start. So this is always the first month of the year of the forecast. And I figure 5 years should be enough time to stabilize, like as far as the timing of this model. I don't think it needs to go to 10. The point is just to show the startup costs, how you get to stabilized operations, um, and what's that gonna cost to do. Okay, it's 5 year, 60 months. Always put NA option for the exit because there might not be one. All my models are for data entry for the user. everything that's editable is always in light yellow with blue text, or just light yellow on my older ones, but it's very clearly defined. Yeah, this could be based on annualized revenue. Okay, so revenue assumptions. This is essentially the most important part, and I'm still thinking about actually how to structure this. I thought about it only very shortly because I want to purposefully show you guys like my thoughts as I begin to build this. So, so I feel like there should be a purchase schedule that says, let's say furniture purchases, and it's going to be real simple. Category 1, and we'll do like, see, now this is important because the user needs to have a simple enough way to enter things so it's not too granular, but also needs to be granular enough to account for a lot of situations. So let's see, if you have different categories, you can do like couches, chairs, patio, whatever, outdoor, indoor, bedroom, living room. You can do your categories however you want. I think 25 is probably enough. So if we do that, we need to define, because you might grow, you're probably going to be growing. So there's going to be, like, what's the best way to do this? Because we could do a month like purchase 1, purchase 2, like 10 separate tranches of purchases for each category, and you could define in each purchase the date, total dollar value, total units, or cost per unit, total units, or something like that. That way we could figure out the total spent on buying inventory, the time of it. We could plug all that into a depreciation schedule as well easily. Um, what else? The other way you could do it is say, okay, we're going to start with buying X, 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 X on a given month. You change the months for each category, and then say that you buy X amount per month over year 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 after that. That'd be an easier way if you plan on making purchases a lot, like continually, like really growing every month. But I feel like the way this would work in real life, in most cases, is probably just tranches of purchases. Like if you go over the course of 5 years, you're not going to be buying or buying new stuff every single month. Like it's likely that let's do what's the easiest way to do it? So if we did purchase 1, let's say you could do 7 purchases over the course of the model if needed, and each one you find the date, unit price, total units purchased of each category. Now we may want to flip the horizontal and vertical matrix axes here. So if we put categories on top, we do, yeah, I think we do categories on top. And then for each category, you've got, no, it still doesn't look good because we need to define multiple things for each category. This is important for the user to just be able to have a clear and easy way to enter assumptions. And we need to think of something that makes sense as well for the business logic. Let's think about this. I need to have 3 fields for each combination. Yeah, let's undo. I think we're gonna have to go purchases on the top, categories down the side, and then just do three columns per purchase. I think that's the way. Oh, these all be editable. And then so each one you have date of purchase, uh, cost per unit, units. And it's pretty arbitrary how many categories there are. Let's make all these soft. These are all going to be inputs. I mean, 25 categories is probably a lot. Okay. Let's put some data validation in here. That's oftentimes with Excel, once you reach a certain level, the value is in how you apply all the different formulas and stuff that you know. And the real value is how you structure things and the logic and how things work together, which is where I focus my stuff as of the last, 4 or 5 years. Okay, so we got. I think that's a good input. Then we're gonna have to do something around utilization. But hold on first. Let's get this. So you've got these different categories of furniture. We can say when you can purchase up to 7 tranches of the different categories. Let me make a thick border on between them. Be a little thicker. I try to just make formatting as clean and easy as possible. And sometimes you don't know what looks good until you try a bunch of stuff. So, does that look okay? Units column could be shorter, maybe 8. Okay, so this looks good for a purchase schedule, I think. Up to 7 tranches, 25 categories. You pick the month of purchase, the cost, let's say cost per unit, total units. Now, so our constraint is simply, I'll just do different values so when I test, I can check if it's working right. So our constraint, when we go to model like max capacity or whatever, how much is used of what's been bought, you obviously can't rent out more than what you have. So the constraint is going to be in this unit count and the dates. Just do this +1. When we start to structure like how much of everything is used. Um, and I was thinking about actually what I did spend some time on, maybe 5 minutes, is I was thinking about if seasonality is important at all and are relevant for this. And I feel like it could be. What? Why can't this merge? Okay. I feel like seasonality could be relevant if you're renting out patio furniture, but in more cases than not, I don't know if seasonality is super relevant with furniture rental, because usually you're going to be renting out couches, chairs, stuff inside. Maybe one of the categories might be seasonal, like patio furniture, but in general, to build the growth and like playing, it's not like a golf course in the north where it's only going to be open 5 months of the year. You're going to be renting out this stuff every year. So the more important thing, in my opinion, when scaling this is probably the purchase schedule and the growth of that rather than seasonality. So I don't think we're going to do anything with seasonality on this one. Um, okay, so we've got a purchase schedule here. I think this is pretty robust and it's still pretty simple. You get any start date for the different categories. Cost. Oh, we can do totals down here. Do some product. So your total purchase for each tranche is this. I don't want to put the total another column because it's just too many columns. I like to put unit cost, units, and then the total cost next to each category for each round. It's just too much. But I think it is good to put the grand total down here so you can at least see in each tranche what's your total cost. So do that for all of these. The other big thing you need to be thinking about when structuring assumptions is how you're going to look up the data. And so if I'm looking at this, um, I'm going to need to know the date. I have all 7 tranches, and then we could do sums, some ifs, I think, for, let's think about this. What's the best way? This is probably the most difficult part of this model right here. It's figuring out the best way to structure this. So we can get on a timeline category. If you put categories, so I think we could list the 25 categories, and then each row could say, okay, we can do one matrix that has units purchased per month for each category. And then and we'd have to do, the only way to do it is sum ifs plus, sum if plus, sum if plus. Yeah, I think that's it. And then you do the total cost per unit. I And it would be nice to do category 1 through 25 and then have one formula. Let's see. No, there's no way. We'd have to just, each one's its separate array range. So we can get the units bought over time and then look up their cost and apply that in a different formula. That's not too bad, and it's doable. So then in that case, we have all of the units. We know how much we have. It is likely that some of the units break over time. So that's why there's also purchases in the future. I'm trying to think the best. Would that be like, so if you're running out a bunch of chairs and 10 of them break, what is going to happen? You have to replace them, so that'd be accounted for in these new purchases. But we'd have to show that the total unit count for like category 1 has dropped. And I think it gets too complicated to try and figure out what the cost of the loss is. Like we can say X% of units are lost per month. It could be a small percentage, like 0.1% or something. Each category can have its own loss percentage. And that will be used just to get a more accurate count of the ongoing unit counts per category. Um, yeah, we're going to have to do a bunch of different matrix tabs because we got to get unit count. We also have to attach the cost of those, each one separately. But I think we can run it and say on a global level, across all tranches in this category, you can say X%. It goes down by X% per month, or it could be 0% if you don't want to model loss of inventory. No, I don't. And as far as like, I don't really want to get into a balance sheet and inventory value. I mean, it's because when you rent stuff out, technically that leaves inventory. So what I want to focus on is how much operational cash flow can be made with the inventory. We'll calculate depreciation and we'll figure out if you're funding any of the startup costs or any burn with debt and equity and investor equity or what. That's all fine. I don't think we need to do like a balance sheet and inventory value because it's just going to be sporadic in a forecast that literally means nothing because in a real world you don't have any idea when you're going to have inventory, when it goes out and in. And the key is we're still going to have good logic for the cost of these purchases and the operational cash flow. Everything to do with cash flow and the timing of that will all be accounted for accurately. So you'll know on a monthly basis what's your cash requirement and or what's the cash available. But I'm thinking we need to account for loss somehow. So like you start with 10 units in this one and X amount of time, there's probably less than 10. So how do we account for that? That's the question. And well, this will be easy. It's percentage utilized over time. And we could just do that as a percentage, like if we say, so this is purchases, other part of revenue is utilization. And then that could be built over, over 5 years. I'm tempted to make this its own tab, but I think it's fine in here with revenue. So we probably need utilization rate per category over time. So you got your categories, and now these will reference above it. And then the furniture, so like we say percentage of the total units available, utilized in year 1 through 5, and then that'll be a simple calculation. I don't know if we need to make it more granular, like in year one, month one, we're at 30%, and then go 40, 50, 60 up to whatever. I think on average it's fine to do granularity on a year here. So like you can say year one, you start off pretty low because you're just getting your name out there and whatever. And then you start to get traction. Maybe you go up to like 30%. These are just arbitrary though, whatever, depending on your situation and what you think you can do. So we've got a purchase schedule. We got utilization by category. This will be pretty easy to implement. So this is enough to start our monthly detail, I think. And let's just pull our formatting here. I'll make sure there's no references to other workbooks. So for cash flow, there's a couple things. Obviously, we need to know the purchase amount each month. Let's put this over for 5 years. And honestly, I know I have furnitures here, and I'm thinking about furniture rental, but this could be just any. This could probably apply to a lot of different rental businesses in general. And I've done an equipment rental in the past, um, but didn't really. So this is a furniture rental, but really this could be a general rental business model for it could be any retail product. So I might rename it to like I don't even know. Nah, furniture rental is kind of nice. It's very specific though. I might put like furniture slash retail rental business model or financial model, or maybe just furniture rental. But for sure, you could see how it could be used for other things besides furniture, which I think is important. That it's super flexible. Okay, unfreeze, freeze. Make this bigger. So we got purchases of our categories. Now, the formula. So we need to know the units. Now, I don't know if we want to put this in a detail or in its own matrix tab. Uh, let's see. So if we sum up E, if C matches the date, well, technically, hold on. Only the 31 though. So that matches that. I don't know if we need to go by category. Lock, lock our column. So we have purchase one. Just trying to see the most important. So purchase one. Because it may be that we do this by purchase tranche rather than category. But this is the process of figuring out if you're working in Excel, doing financial models. This is all the stuff you got to think about. Like if we do round tranche one, two, we can get total units, but we can't really get the cost granularity. We really can't. So this needs to be separated by category, meaning we're gonna have to do a matrix. Now the matrix I really like. I do them in a lot of different models because there's so many applications in applying it over time. And it's super, like, it just solves all the really hard logical questions and allows you to get really accurate um, business logic. And this I think we're going to need. So we got our months going up, our months going across. And then now what I need to know, so we've got, so what's hard is we've got categories and then multiple purchases in each category. So, well, hold on. Maybe we don't need months going down this way because we have, just thinking, let's say we make the cohort the entire category instead. Also, if you like solving puzzles and making yourself think, this is really fun stuff to do. And you can make money doing it or get paid. People pay for this stuff all day long. Okay, so category one, just thinking about this. I mean, honestly, so I have to know the units for this purchase amount, the date. We're gonna need a different. We're gonna need uh, seven sets of 25. So like one. So this is like tranche one, purchase group one. Let's see, how do we turn text sideways? 90. So you got, and then this is take two. I think this works. We get figure out the months over time, how much is purchased in each category, and then what was the cost of that, all on the same timeline. Yep, that looks good, I think. Two, one, two, one, two, six, seven. So we're one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. And now we know month one is always this one. We could say, because we want to isolate the count and the cost, because I think we're going to need to reference the actual count. And I also want to do some charting with unit count as well as dollars, so they just need to be separated. So let's go sum ifs. And now I could do, oh wait, we're still going to have to do just this range. So if this, if the date matches our date, and all this stuff locks, except obviously the matrix number needs to go across, but not down. Now wait, we're doing it by category. So I could pull the date. I could just do an index, but honestly, the sum ifs is cleaner than the index, I think. We'll just do two matches. So if it matches that, and if in this range matches this. And sometimes I get leery about doing a, a sum on any matrix that references an input cell like this. I like to keep it based on the position or do an index. But in this case, I think it's okay. Oh, let's change the month so we can see if that's working for each one. So, I mean, we got the biggest part, which is, okay, how much I'm going to rent stuff out. Well, what am I buying and when am I buying it? When am I buying the stuff I'm going to rent out? So I think that's a huge, huge thing to start. So here it has by category. Just making sure this works. Okay, so then it would just go down. So over 60 months, we can see what we purchased. And then that'll give us a good reference point to figure out. And yeah, there's no other better way to do it, I don't think, because we have two identifiers, the purchase round and the category, and we have to split it all up. So matrix 1 is going to be this, matrix 2 is going to do the actual cost. Now I got to move everything over F, G, and H. So C, D, and E becomes F, G, and H. Or wait, B always stays the same. I need E and C. So C. So C becomes F, E becomes H. So C, E, F, H. C becomes E. Oh, wait. What did I do here? Sum if E. E becomes H. C, F. C to F, E to H. Okay. C to F, E to H. And then I'll just do all these. And then F to I, H to K. H to K, F to I. Then so it's IJKLKLMN. Trying to get the pattern in my head. So I to L, K to N. So it's 2 in the middle. So KLMN IJKL. NNOP, so this should be Q, and then LO. Is that right? O and Q, yep. QRST, O element OPQR. Last one, TUVW. Wait, hold on. What did I do on the last one? TR. Okay. So what did I do? W and U. What's going on, viewer? I'm a little sick today, but we're working on this furniture rental. It looks pretty fun so far. Some new logic to the rental business model. Okay. So now we know our purchases for each tranche over 60 months by category. Looks like our numbers are populating correctly. 15, 16. Yep. Go all the way over for all these. Man, building financial models is a bit of an art form, honestly. You gotta have creativity, but also you're thinking about like efficiency and logic at the same time. All right. So now we do matrix 2, which is going to be the amount. So now we can do a positional reference. What's up, viewer? We're going to do positional reference times an index. I think we can do index match here. I hope. Based on, well, no, we can't really. Dang it. So we've got the dates, we've got the cost per unit, total units. So we figured out our units purchased over time for all tranches. Now we need to get that cost piece in there. So it's, I mean, I guess I go, so we can get this row. We can get this by just referencing this wherever is positioned here. But then we need to isolate this. And the unique, it'd be be purchase. We'd have to pull the purchase and then the category to match. So we may have to just do this. Kind of looks redundant, but I need this to be in this cell to do index. So we can look up the purchase and the category. Let's try this. So first I just want to do an index match. So index, and I want this row or this column, yeah, this row and this. And then I'm trying to find all these different costs. So index, the row is going to be the category. There's a category. 0 because exact match. The column is going to be this purchase group 1. Now we're going to have to name this. This is going to have to be a reference to this. And luckily, so these things aren't going to be input editable. Like you could edit it and break the formula, but purchase 1, 2 through 7 is not going to be something you want to change anyway. It's pretty self-explanatory what it is. So that shouldn't be a problem. I'm gonna keep this unhidden just so that people, if they're trying to follow along with the formula, they can see what is being referenced here. Honestly, hold on a second. Can we just do... Like if we unmerge all this, I think we can just put it in here. Now we don't need this. And just remove borders. On all that. And just go, you know, right border. And then soft bottom border. And a soft top border. There. And now we have it in the cell. Yeah, no need to merge because it was, since it was 3 columns, I could just do the name in the middle. And it looks like it's centered already, so it's fine. Okay, so 5, row 5 is where we start this now. I always try to remove the name of a cell reference if it's in the same tab. Like B3, I don't want it to say matrix 1. Wait, what the heck did I do for this one? Why am I referencing matrix 1? I... 'Cause... 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 'C Hold on a second. Oh, what did I do there? And then this has to be 5. So if you go and buy this template when you're using it, just make sure you are just only editing, meaning inputting data into light yellow stuff. And if you do that, it'll be completely fine. Okay, I don't know why did I reference matrix 1B3. Oh, I think I thought I was on this. So B3 is the category. So we want this. And now we have this whole table in a lookup in this index match. Why is it saying purchase one? Let's see, match B3 with 7. And then match A to B to W5. So there should be purchase 1 and category 1. It should say $1. This is the row. Oh, shoot. Oh, wait, yeah. I can reference a unit count on the other matrix. So I just need to get these numbers. Okay, so why is category 3 showing 1? I don't know. I'm gonna have to redo this stupid formula. All right, let's do this again. Index this whole thing. Row number. I want to match the row, which is category, based on this. I want to match the column based on this. What the heck? Why am I getting purchase 1? This doesn't make any sense. Is it? No, it's definitely pulling the text. so confused. It should be looking at this and this, and then doing purchase one matches category one cost per unit dollar. Purchase one and category one are not anywhere else, so there's no like weird reference issue. Oh, wait a second. No, that's right. Oh, what is going on? This is one of the most annoying things when you have you know the formula's right, but you're getting the wrong number. Okay, so this is the same thing. Why? Why is it offset by 2? Category 25 purchase 1 is not 23, it's 25. Somehow I'm off by 2 on everything. Doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Purchase 1 cost per unit. For some reason, it's just going down the line without any reference to the row. And I don't know. That doesn't make any sense. So the issue is with the row lookup, I think. Um, let's just try and do that. Let's just do an index on the row and see if we can get that to match. So if we do just index, sometimes you just got to do break it apart. And I'm actually going to reference the whole thing. Match that with this. Okay, so what? Now it's doing the second one down. Oh wait, D4. Let me put this up to D. Wait, it should be in 5. Okay, so I'm getting a good number here in the index formula for the row. So that's actually working how it should. Now what if I go D5, D31? What if we go B5, W31? Okay, now why is that working? And my other one didn't. I'm not that worried about it because it's working now, so thank goodness. But Why? So what's the difference? Oh, I was matching B7. I must have kept I must have kept referencing my rows as just here, and I needed to come up to 5. So that's exactly the problem. And yeah, it looks like I did that. Okay, perfect. So now we know the problem. So now we have the currency or the cost per unit times units purchased. Just reference this here, and then we have it. Oh wait, what did we not lock? Uh, A3 needs to be locked. Okay, that looks good. And we move over, and we have our cost for each category. Now, I just need to drag this down, reference this. Oh, just pull this reference down here, and then that's it. We'll make sure it's working though. So for April, we got 70, and April, we got 5 times 14 for category 5, or category 4 or 5, for 4. Okay, so that's the right number. Perfect. Drag this. Five. We're getting there. All right. Now we can get our total purchase. And this will be used. We'll probably do another matrix for. We haven't even gotten to revenue yet, but we can reference this. Probably do a matrix 3 that will do. Look up the units whenever they start, and then we'll do some kind of like monthly um, lot, like 0.1% or something low. But you'll be able to account for starting at 10, and then after 5 years you might only have 8 left in a given purchase cohort. Okay, total purchases. that's aggregate. And then in the detail, I can just go total purchases of furniture and just go this plus this. And that's how we get from our assumption here to a monthly aggregate number that's accurate. So each month, this is how much is going out. Now, normally this will probably, like a lot of these will be all in the first month or two. Like you buy a bunch of inventory to start. I just need to make sure all the numbers are flowing correctly in the formula, so I have numbers filled into everything. So we start off with purchases of inventory. Don't need that. So there's our purchases. um, so now that we know that, I need to think about, I don't really care about the units, total units purchased um, in aggregate, because it doesn't really mean anything because you're looking at all these different groups and categories. It's just not going to mean much, but the total dollar purchased will for sure. Um, and then based on this utilization table per year, and some revenue number. So utilization rate, one, two, um, rental fees. So how much are you going to charge on this stuff? Now, I believe the easiest way to do this is just say, what's the daily amount? And we can adjust that over the course of 5 years if needed. So like year one, for category one, per unit, how much are you charging per day on average? And the reason why I say per day is because that's the most granular number, and everyone is at least doing 1 day at a time. If this was like a monthly number, but you wanted to, but you didn't rent by the month, you rented by on a 10-day something else, you would have to, it just wouldn't flow good, and you would have to get averages. It just wouldn't make as much sense. So if we go by day, we'll do rental fees, average per day. So category one, all these is the same category. On average, this is how much they cost per unit. What are you charging on average per day for that? Let's say, I'm just making numbers up here. Let's say $3. Because something that costs you $1, I mean, you probably wouldn't, well, realistically, it's probably like 10 cents, but the numbers here don't matter. I'm just trying to show you how the logic's going to work here. So let's say you charge $3 a day. Obviously, there's a gross profit going to be happening. even at 15% utilization. But we will factor in, like, why this is important is because you're going to have to account for, cost to store all your inventory, uh, overhead, employees, all the utilities. You might be renting storage space to store the stuff while it's not being used. So the higher your utilization rate, the lower your carrying costs are. And all that stuff can be kind of strategized with this model. So total purchases, rental fees. All right. Yeah, I'm not going to worry about depreciation right now. We'll figure that out later. We've got all the data we need to do it. I believe we'll treat it like a cohort, like month one, we purchased $10, or we purchased $252. We're going to say the average useful life of all the furniture is like, I think 7 or 10 years. I got to look that up, but and then every month you just have a depreciation um, based on the cumulative, but it's definitely not under 5 years, so that means nothing's going to actually. We can just look at the cumulative amount purchased and keep depreciating it by 1 over however many months is in 7 years or 8 years. I don't know. So not hard calculation, but we'll do that later. Okay, so I want revenue. So what we'll do, matrix 3 is going to be oh, excuse me. Matrix. So matrix 1 was purchase. This is revenue. So we'll do. We know we have. Oh, we're gonna have to put a year in here. So we don't need a month in this one. We could do because we already have all that. So round up. C2 divided by 12. And that should give us the year. Perfect. So for this, I want to do an index, I think. We want category 1. So we don't care when the purchase was made. We just care that category 1 is renting out at X dollars per day for this year. So we really, so let's pull that. So index, um, just get the number, the dollar value, match the year with the year here. And then the categories are just going in order, so those are just gonna, the index formula will drag down as we go down. Let's see what I messed up here, hold on. And then we'll multiply that by the total units in all of category 1 that exist. So, but what we're gonna have to do, shoot, we gotta do another matrix. Because we need to know in month 2, are we a little bit less than 10, and so on. Okay, so, but first let's figure out real quick what's going on here. So index C to G69. F68. I had 67. So 68. What's up, viewer? Okay, there's the number we want, $3. So we got our dollar per, and let's change this so we can see it. The formula's really working. It's not. Oh, this has to be unlocked. So we got our dollar per day there. Now what I have to go back and do is we got to show that it's possible if you buy furniture over time, some of it gets broken, lost, whatever. We need to show that effect. So we can't just say 100% of what you buy is still there after 5 years. Some of it's going to get broken or whatever. So the calculation is going to be if matrix 1 is greater than 0, then 1, which is going to represent 100%, otherwise 0. And then this will be the same for each of these going down, but we can then say if this is greater than 0, then do this times, and then we got to think about how we do, so by category, utilization, we're also going to say loss rate. I don't know how exactly what to call it, but we'll put a note. So let's say put some decimals on this. Let's say in each category, and you can change it per category, how much of monthly loss rate. We'll put a note on this. This is to show that over time, some inventory is damaged, lost, what have you. Now, if you don't want to show that, you can just put 0%, and it will just say, you buy these 10 units in January. For the next 5 years, you've got the same 10 units available over time. If you put 0.1% loss, then every month you lose 0.1%, and that's just to show that um, eventually you're going to have, you're going to lose some of what you bought due to whatever, breakage, anything like that. And we're not going to get into insurance. Not going to get into um, like penalties. It's just an acceptance of the renter or the company, if you're gonna buy stuff, it gets used over time, and that's where your depreciation expense comes in. Okay, so this is revenue. We're also going to show on the same tab uh, loss percentage loss. So when I calculate revenue, I can, so this, oh wait, I'm going to have it here actually. So let's get this back. So this is greater than 0, then do this times, and then we do an index again. This column, oh yeah, index this column. I just lost my whole train of thought. Oh yeah, index that if match category matches our categories here. And then, so that's going to be the percentage less. So you'll do C3 times 1 minus this. So yeah, 0.999, that makes sense. Man, it's 10:37. I've been streaming for an hour and a half, and my throat is just getting bothered. So I don't know how much longer I might go today. We'll see. I am excited about this model. We got brand new revenue logic, which is what I love. That's the cool stuff, is finding different logic, business logic to put out there that I think is scalable and useful for people. It'll probably take us a few weeks to finish this model. Um, I do it every Tuesday. Tuesday mornings I do this. You guys can come in and talk or whatever, suggest things. Uh, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. And check out smarthelping.com for all my templates. I've got hundreds, and they're all great and highly useful. And don't get worried about decimals. I always tell people this. It's okay to have decimals. Oh, hold on one sec. All it means is that in all probability, it's likely that at some point in the future, this initial furniture set you bought is going to break. You don't know exactly when, so the most mathematically accurate way to forecast that is to say some percentage is lost per month. And then at a given month in the future, there's an X% chance you still have it. So you just do that percentage times the amount times whatever revenue, and you're just saying that it's worth, that's what the value is in the future. Now, if we put 0%, then this would just stay at 100 the whole time. Okay, so we copy this. Now, hold on, we can use this schedule for everything then, right? Because this is not different for each purchase cohort, it's just per category. So we don't need all of this. Oh, wait, hold on a second. My bad, we do need all of that because, well, So I guess the question is, do we separate? No, I don't think we do. So we could just say, shoot. Yeah, we have to. We have to have them all actually. Here we're saying, so if matrix 1 is greater than 0, 0, then if we still have to put this up in front. Yep. Okay, so because we don't know the timing, we have to reference when things start. So every purchase group has a different start, potentially different start months for the different categories. And so we need to dynamically know the timing of that. Let me just make sure this is working. So if I have, let's say I skip a month here, after June, does it still work? Yeah, okay, so it just goes 0. Perfect. Okay. Now we can drag this down and over. Oh, wait a second. I think we can just copy and paste this all the way down. And that's just fine, I think, because it's all dynamic on the other matrix tabs. Let's check. So if we go to the second purchase unit, let's say we don't buy anything till March. And let's say we have a bigger loss thing. Okay, so second one, don't buy till March, that worked. And then these work. And the good thing is it never goes below 0 because we did, well, it's approaching 0, but it's not 0. It's like 0. Yeah, it just keeps getting smaller and smaller, which is fine. In all likelihood, the number is going to be pretty small. And we can put a helper calculation like expected months item lasts. And depreciation might not always be the same as the actual. So um, if we just do 1 divided by this, well, it's going to take 1,000 years for that to go away. If it's 25%, it's 4. I think this is just a good helper. So let's say, I mean, in all likelihood, I mean, somewhere around 10% seems reasonable. Oh, hold on. This is months. This is months. So maybe 100 months is almost 10 years. So if you just say a 1% here, and it could be different per the different categories. So you can adjust this. This is just a helper to let you see what it means when you put in a number. Yeah, that's good. Okay. All right. So this looks great. I'm happy about these. So it looks like it's working great. Let's try one more test. Purchase 7. Okay, 0%. That's right. All right, so we have each cohort. We know the percentage. So now when we go over to the dollar value here, we could do so dollars per day times utilization per year. Wait, didn't we already do that? I thought we did. I just want to make sure I'm not double counting anything. Maybe not. Okay, so times index utilization year year 0. So on average, just $3 a day. The utilization can just be applied to the well, we'll have to multiply that by the average. So when we say utilization here, we need to say max days open per month. And that's just going to be one number that applies to, well, do we need to make it by category? I don't think so, because you're not going to just have some categories available some parts of the month and some not. It's just, yeah, so do put its own section, I guess. So just say, like 26. So that's the max for any given month. So if we're back here for revenue, we got this times our utilization rate. And then times days per month, because it's a daily rate. times utilization times this. $12. So let's check that real quick. Oh, and then we just multiply that times the utilization or the percentage matrix that's left. So if we have 100%, so we're charging $3 a day, 26 working days, only open 15%, or our first year we're 15% utilized, and it's the first month of the first purchase, so we're at 100% of that 1170. And is that equal to this? It should be 1170. Yep. Let's double check it. Does this equal this? Oh, where were we? True. Okay, good. So that math makes sense. Now I believe so we can drag that. This can be drug. And the next month it goes a little bit down and down. And we're basically treating each purchase cohort or tranche as its own cohort. So you've got all the purchase one stuff. Put this in here. You got all the purchase one stuff for each category, and then how long it lasts, and what revenue is being generated. Then you've got your second purchase cohort, which would be this, all this stuff. Sorry, I put row in here. And then how much that's going to make over time based on that its dates. And then you can aggregate all that up on the same timeline to figure out the monthly amount. Now, we'll do some more testing on some of these to make sure it's working over time. Because there's a lot of factors happening here. And to duplicate, we just copy paste. And honestly, oh, what are we missing? Oh, we got to restart this actually. So this has still got to be at 69. And that's got to be at 38. And then revenue assumptions is locked and matrix C30. So same for purchase cohort 2, it doesn't start till March, the third month. That's correct. And then you're at $2 a day with 11 units. So $2 a day times 11 units times active days times year one, category one is 15%. And then where are we at? Utilization. Which one am I looking at? For month 3, purchase 2, category 2. So third month. Yeah. No, don't crash. Don't crash. Oh, please don't crash. No. Oh, thank goodness. I better save this real quick. Okay. So this should not be 0. Let's see. 2, 11, 15. I don't know if it should be 176,000 either. We might have another reference issue. We'll see. 86. That seems right. All right, so index 67. Oh, we need index 69. 69 and 37. Try this again. Okay, $16. Are we tracking the count? Let me go back to the first one. Am I tracking this 10 here? I might not be. Let's try it. Let's look at the first one again. So if we got 10 units, $1 a day, or I'm sorry, not $1 a day. 10 units times 26 days, $3 a day, 15% utilization, 117. Now, if we divide this by this, it's 1170. Yeah, okay, so we forgot to multiply by the unit count. So we need that somewhere. I think we can just do times, because we've already done the percentage left, so we just need to know the total. So the max value of the units, which is always going to be in this right here. And then that can just be drug down. And now you're at 117, and that's the number we want. We can lock C and B. Okay. Now let's copy and paste. And now this number should be 86 when I get to it. We just got to adjust so 69, 37. Oh, hold on. This should not be locked. Oh wait, it's this one. Okay, let's hope for, what did I say, 86? Oh, that's not 86. All right, hold on. Let's double check the math. This is monthly earnings. Okay. Uh, so this is saying 858. Let me just double check. So 69. Yep. So if we go category 1, it's $3 a day times 11 units. 15% times 100%. Times, working days per month. 128. All right. Now, 128, and I'm getting 858. Matrix 4E30. That's a good number. Max of matrix 1C30. Yep. 11. I'll probably be done when I finish this or checking this. Uh, times the dollar amount. Match the year. 37's the year. Well, it looks right, but I know it 858, and I manually did it and got. Let's try to redo the manual calculation. All right, 11 units times 15 times that. All right, so now I've missed the. So this is 858 if it's 15%. So I've missed this somehow. We've missed this percentage. So this is E38. So what happened there? Uh, oh wait, is index 37. Okay, I put it to 37 instead of 38. Now this is why we check things because it takes a while to get it. There, yeah, 129, that's the number we want. So I'm finally coming to agreement with myself on the manual calculations, so that's good. Um, and then that's going down over time, that's right. Let me double check the first one again to make sure I'm getting 117. So 15 times 3, 26 days, 10. Yeah, 117. Okay, perfect. So we're matching up consistently. Now, I'm done for today. Next week, we'll try and get through, finish this revenue, and just keep working through the model until we're done. I'm hoping, so this was probably the hardest day because structuring the revenue assumptions is hard. Next week, we probably will get through a lot of this. I don't know if we'll finish, but we're going to get close, uh, which is great. So, and then we'll start populating the monthly detail. All right, guys. I will see you next Tuesday. Have a great week.